Starts within organization. We are right now we are at London Correctional Institution, and we are going in to implement the Walking Logo program. We are currently in our small business and entrepreneurship section. It's a 52-week class, and right now we are doing the small business and entrepreneurship module. And right now who we have here, we have Professor George Yoakum and also Professor Lee Drickamer. So between these two guys, they teach two different modules, and Lee is coming in today to just sit in on the class so we can get a feel for the actual participants and see how the class structure is, and just to get a feel for the overall structure of the program, because he's the next module coming in to do the employment readiness piece for 16 sessions. I'm just excited to be a part of this movement, and I'm excited to have these guys here to be able to, deliver the stuff that they know, because they are experts in their particular fields and they can make sure that learning takes place. This is how we get it done inside of the institutions. We believe that before change can be seen externally, change must be done internally, meaning that the individuals have to become who they need to become before they get released from prison. And this is how we get it done. We get them new information so they can come up with a new way of thinking, so then they can control their behaviors and they can become assets to their communities and not liabilities. Now I'm just excited, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to all of this expertise. I'm just in the middle of a lot of expertise. You see the gray hairs here, and you know that I'm just like a sponge, and I just soak up all of the knowledge that I possibly can to be able to develop myself, because that's what it's all about. It's about personal development and continue to develop yourself, and that's what I'm about. And I'm just blessed to be around this knowledge that I'm around right now, and I'm gonna turn it over to George right now, and I'm gonna tell you that George, he actually taught me inside of Marion Correctional Institution, and he was the professor for the small business and entrepreneurship section, and he was one of the professors that actually knew their stuff. And I was just excited to be in his class, because when I went home, I was able to implement the stuff that I had learned in his class. I knew things differently, and I was able to implement it. So I'm going to turn it over and just let you hear, where George is coming from and why he's doing this, and what he expects to get out of the individuals here at the Walking Logo program. George Yoakum.
Thank you, Carlos. I've been teaching in institutional situations for a little over 15 years. And as we were talking, I didn't expect to be here, but the business I was in, which was the communications, radio, television business, changed dramatically. I started teaching part-time for a college in Marion, Ohio, and I also teach now in 7 different institutions. This is the 7th, London, but I teach for 3 in Marion and 3 for Ashland University. And I've come to appreciate very much teaching the guys that are in this situation, like Carlos was when we first met, who really want to learn more about business and what they want to do when they get out of here. I was told a number of years ago by the former director, Reggie Wilkerson, of the DRC, that the problem is people get out of here and go back to doing the same thing that they did before in the same communities, and they have a strong influence. What we try to do is teach them, and in the section I do, we do an actual business plan that they can do when they get out of here, start their own business rather than trying to go to work in many cases. And what I've learned is it's very difficult once you have a felony conviction to be hired. And that can be a big mistake, because we have some tremendously smart guys who want to learn about this stuff, and they'd be good employees for somebody, but because they've had a felony, they don't get a chance. And that's what we try to do in an 11-step process, that each one helps them build a plan and focus on something they can do from their experience when they get out of here. And over the period of time, and I wish we could do even more research of how many guys have started their own business. Sometimes you got to get out, put a little money aside, but at least they have a plan and a direction that's important in all these aspects, financially and being a better person. It's very important, and I enjoy working, and it started, like Carlos said, a number of years ago when he came through the program at Marion Correctional, and I've continued to do it. So it's an enjoyable but a very important aspect, I believe, to helping many of the people who've made a lot of mistakes in their lives turn around and do something different in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, would you feel better to be next door to an individual who have went through the Walking Logo program versus somebody who was just getting released without doing no program, and only thing they was able to do is lift weights and play cards and dominoes? And would you feel more comfortable?
And believe me, I see that other side of it. And when they've chosen and gone through this program, I think that gets them focused on where they want to go. And certainly I'd much rather be with somebody who's gone through this program, through the educational system that I've come to learn in the institutional world's pretty good. And this is an excellent program. The guys that we teach in here that Carlos has found are really smart guys who want to do something about their lives. I think they are committed. And I enjoy when they do their Walking Logo theme at the beginning that talks about how they're committed to the world and what they want to do.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And George, and we'll wrap it up and we'll get on to Lee. But how much your credentials? Can you speak about your credentials?
Well, my background, I was in for 30 years almost, 25 to 30 in the radio, television business, in advertising and promotion. I have 2 degrees, a bachelor and a master's degree in radio, television, advertising, and communication. And as I said, 15 years, a little over, teaching in the institutional system. So I've come to better understand more what kind of people we're dealing with and how to deal with.
Absolutely.
People who have a background quite different than mine was before I started coming in.
Yes. Different backgrounds, but we're going to get to the same place of
Yep.
success. Good thing,
Yep.
good things. Thanks, George. And I appreciate, your passion, and I appreciate what you do inside of this setting. And just, I'm telling you, like, it was a blessing for you to be my professor back in 2003, 2004, and giving me that information. I still use some of that knowledge today.
And he was an excellent student. So, not just talking the talk, but he performed it.
Absolutely,
Very well.
absolutely. Good stuff. So now we have Lee Drickamer, and he will be doing the 16 sessions of employment readiness. And with Lee, he actually said that he will donate, and he contributed $8,100 to even fund this program. And then we also got him and his church, the Oberlin Utilitarian Universalist Church, to be able to fund the grant. And we got a grant from that church, from the foundation, to be able to back this movement. And he has chosen to come in and also teach for the 16 sessions. It's just another level of education that they will be able to receive from some experience. And I'm just excited. So Lee, please take off.
One of the most important tasks, if you will, that the inmates face upon release, and a continuing issue, is finding a job. I think Carlos can testify that that's the big step. And so in order to do that, there are certain steps that the inmates need to take. And my class will begin with an examination for each of the students with what they think they want to do, what their personality fits, how they best would move forward with their talents. And then we'll spend quite a bit of time on resume writing. This is where the individual puts forth their skills, talents. There are a variety of forms of these, and we'll look at those with respect to each particular student. The second part of it, or third really, is letter writing. What do you send in with your resume? And how do you respond to an advertisement? How do you deal with the various issues that you've faced? As we were talking before, you've got a felony on your record. How do you work through that? And then, presuming and hoping that you get an interview, we'll spend the last third or so of our time together doing practice interviews, making up the questions, dealing with how you face the audience, if you will, when you're in front of a committee of 2 or 3 that are doing the interview, and how you progress then to potentially getting an offer. So it's a package that's going to be important, not just when you get out, but also for the remainder of your career as you build a resume. The last thing that we'll do, which is something we'll start at the beginning, I call networking. And that's part of finding a job. The participants in Carlos's program, and I've known several of them, have been successful because they've started their networking process either before they get out or just as they get out of prison. And they are able then to make connections. And that's how you find somebody who needs somebody that will hire you. And you go from there.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And Lee, and can you please state some of your credentials that you have?
Okay, I spent my career as an academic, as a biologist, but in the course of that I did lots of student advising, I worked with various local groups, and then in my last years as an instructor I developed a course which I called Tools for Success, which you could read as Employment Readiness, and that course followed very much the pattern that we will be using in this course in the prison.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you graduated from Oberlin College?
I did indeed, 50 years ago next spring.
Okay, yes. See, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And this is what it's about. It's about, and I come in along with these guys, so every time that the facilitator goes in, I'm along right there with them, because my responsibility is to make sure that we tie the information to the actual individual, because I'm the individual, and I just want them to know that the information that these men have and our professors have, and we have a couple of more facilitators as well, the information that these facilitators are providing is information that they will need to be able to be successful, because it's information that I have utilized to be successful. A lot of times the reason why people lack motivation is because they have no direction, and I'm able to provide that direction so then they can have the motivation to be able to say, I'm coming to class and I'm going to learn the curricula that these professors are teaching, so now they don't have to pull teeth to try to get them to learn. And this is the responsibility of Starts Within. This is the responsibility of me being the program manager inside of this program, of the Walking Logo program. And another thing, what I'm doing is, people say, how are we going to expand? Well, these guys are coming home. Next year we will have 17 individuals that will be getting released from London Correctional Institution, and they will be at home. Right now we currently have 19 individuals that is home right now that have went through our other two programs that we have graduated from the Walking Logo program. This is how we will expand, because we will start to put people in place to be program managers in different locations. So then we can say, hey, let's get some more facilitators, let's get some more program managers, let's get some more, parenting facilitators as well. Because what we do is we started off with the parenting piece, and that's how we established a relationship with the actual individual, is by starting off with parenting. And the person who does the parenting is usually an individual who had to parent from inside of being inside of a prison. But that's how we get it started before we go into the hardcore curriculum, such as the small business entrepreneurship section, the employment readiness section, the financial literacy section, the cognitive behavior therapy section. That's how we are able to get it done. Again, this Starts Within organization, Walking Logo, and I hope that you guys out there who are viewing this little commercial understand that this is a movement, and a movement is not a movement unless the people get behind it and push it. It's something worthwhile. People is the best investment that you can make, because people are valuable by default. Invest into a person. That's the best investment that you can make. They're coming home. Why not them come home in a way where they are assets and adding value to our environment? I believe this 1000%, and we are signing off because we got to go into class and we got to go ahead and teach this small business and entrepreneurship section, because these guys be hungry, don't they, George?
Yep.
They be hungry, don't they? Say, let's go ahead and get on with the class, right?
And the key point that Carlos made, to wrap it up, is because he's here, there are lots of programs that come in institutions, but having somebody who's been there, done that, when he talks, they listen, and that is impressive. So
absolutely.
You do a great job.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. This is my assignment, so I have no choice, right? So I love every bit of it. This is my assignment. This is what I've been put here to do for right now, and this is what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, it's just a beautiful feeling just to be able to see the impact that we are making in people's lives. Lee, you got any closing statements?
No, I'm looking forward. I'm very excited about this and preparing to teach starting in about 8 weeks. we'll go from there.
Absolutely. And he's going to be driving from Oberlin. That's 2 hours away, committed. That's what I need, is committed individuals to the change of these individuals in here. Information influences thinking, thinking controls behavior. Before change can be seen externally, change must be done internally.